So, my channel has just turned 5 years old last month, and I think I know how to celebrate it. Hello, NinHitsFan2000 here, and today I would like to discuss to you something very important in this video. And it's regarding what content I've made for the past couple of years. I'm talking about some of the videos that I uploaded all the way back in 2018 when I first created my channel. Yup, it's gonna be a mini retrospective and look back at my earlier videos and how my channel was made, so you might as well buckle up. And I'd like to thank you to all of my subscribers who have kept this channel going for so long, seeing as my sub count is now 2,100. Wow. We've come a long way. So, as a thank you to all my viewers and a celebration of my channel, let's look back on how my channel has evolved and a bit of history surrounding my videos. Now, just to clarify one thing to you all. If you think that the first video on the channel titled Thomas and Lucario Stars was my first one, you'd be wrong, as that video was made months before I created my channel. What you didn't know was that the first video I created, to no one's surprise, was a Thomas parody clip with audio from an episode of Pokemon that I created on Movie Maker back in 2017. Yeah, I can tell you're all shocked to hear about it. So, if you don't know what I'm on about, there were these types of videos in the Thomas community where fans would put audio over footage from shows or movies like Tug, SpongeBob, Simpsons, Disney or whatever. There are notable people on YouTube who made these in the late 2000s and early 2010s that I thought of, such as Crane Engine Studios, Jivio, Steam Team Reader UK, and etc. And I became interested in them starting in late of 2015. The parody clips I liked the most were Pokemon, which I started to gain a bit more interest as prior I watched the French dub of the anime, and in 2013 I stopped watching it as I was looking at info seen on Bulbapedia and the fact that Smash Bros had fighters originating from Pokemon, and I didn't want to watch any further of what the franchise had. But that was until I became more exposed and open to it, most notably the anime, which I started watching at the beginning of 2016 and stopped at XYZ in November of 2018, as I prefer the original design Ash had over his in Sun and Moon. That's just my opinion, by the way. So, as I didn't have any video editing software at the time, I made pretend parodies on Serif Draw Plus where I put screenshots of Thomas episodes from the wiki and I would put audio over them, like with Pokemon, Lazy Town or whatever. Then, come September of 2017, when I asked my sister if I could download Movie Maker on my computer, where I can create my own Thomas parodies and even some music videos. Soon, the very first video I made on Movie Maker was a Thomas parody clip featuring audio from the Pokemon episode Cruisin' for a Losin' from the Advanced Challenge season. Then I made more the next few months and even some music videos in between. Not to mention that I compiled my Thomas Pokemon parodies into a single video onto YouTube back in early 2019. Barring the Diamond and Pearl Galactic Battles one, as it was a separate upload and the second video on my channel. So, as you can see with these parodies, it's pretty simple and obvious with the cast I chose. Thomas as Ash, Rosie as Dawn, Bill or Ben as Pikachu, Emily as May, Percy as Brock, Duncan as Paul, and so on. As for the rest of the parodies of other things I've made, most of them consisted of Bob the Builder, Fairly Odd Parents, Sonic Heroes, Voltron, Mr. Men, and Diary of a Wimpy Kid. I even made full-length Tugs parodies of Thomas episodes as I was inspired by people like Eli J. Brony, whom I first saw all the way back in 2011, and I was tempted to make my own. I only made 2 in 2018, way before I created my own channel the same year in October, and then I created a third one as I saw that 2 of my parodies had been gaining more views. There were also Thomas music videos which consisted of songs from Pokemon, as I wanted these 2 franchises to cross over so badly. And even this one.
You're hard fitted indeed. Being a pirate is a right indeed. Do what you want, 'cause a pirate is free. You are a pirate.
Yeah, you know how much of a fan I was into that series back then. Not only have I made parody clips of Thomas, but also full-length parodies. Yeah, so despite me having uploaded 3 full-length Thomas parodies like the ones I did with Bob the Builder, Noddy and Mr. Men and Little Miss, there were also parodies that I made on Movie Maker, yet I didn't upload them to YouTube due to copyright reasons. First, there's a video where it's got Thomas characters playing the roles of characters in an animated adaptation of a Pokemon Mystery Dungeon game called Pokemon Mystery Dungeon: Team Go-Getters Out of the Gate. So, fun fact, I did export the whole thing into MP4, but haven't uploaded it to YouTube as I fear it might be taken down, but seeing that the animated special is up on YouTube for whatever reason, I'm not complaining. Another fact is that last year in 2022, when me and my parents came back from France during a 2-month holiday, I rewatched the whole parody that I made on my Windows 8 computer, and that it was the last thing I saw right before it died down and wouldn't work again. So that meant the laptop I'm currently using has taken over the platform for making my videos. Anyway, as I was saying, there were 2 full-length parodies that I successfully uploaded to my Google Drive. One was an episode of Pokemon Advanced Battle where it had Thomas characters playing the roles, which I first uploaded it to my Vimeo account before making it correctly available on my drive, and the other was Dream Street, a show about talking vehicles that takes place inside a storybook. The reason I didn't upload these 2 parodies up on YouTube were because of copyright reasons, but temporarily for the second one. The Pokemon one was because of ShowPro, and for Dream Street, well, things had changed. You see, back in 2017, WildBrain had taken down fan uploads of a series as they hold all the rights to it. Yet, as of 2022, most of the episodes can be watched online, so there's nothing to worry about. And as for my exposure for this show? Okay, I've only seen 1 episode of Dream Street when it aired on CITV, then my grandmother had new tapes for me to watch, such as Disney's Hercules, which I've already watched as an old friend of mine lent it to me, and the other being Dream Street, as I was more interested in it as it was a show about talking vehicles, which I had a dying affection for, like with other shows like Thomas, Bob the Builder, Steady Eddie and such. And also, there were parodies that I did not export to MP4 and saved it to my Google Drive. One was an entire Thomas parody of a Lazy Town episode which I tried to export but for some reason couldn't as it may be too big, and the other being an episode of The Fairly Odd Parents because, I don't know, copyright? No time to do it? And as you can see on my channel, I uploaded them from late 2018 to 2020 as I exported my projects into MP4 so I could show my viewers some of my earlier works. But anyway, since I've talked about a few of my unreleased and hidden videos, now's the time that I talk about the first few videos that I uploaded to YouTube. Let's go, shall we? Before I tell you this, I just got to remind you that how I got my channel was that I asked my mum to make an account on Club Penguin Rewritten as I thought of playing the game myself. But also, I have to make up my own email account to log into it. As I now had an account of my own, that could mean I can start uploading videos on YouTube. And so, the very first video that I uploaded to YouTube was called Thomas and Lucario Stars on the 25th of October 2018. Basically, it's a music video dedicated to Thomas the Tank Engine and the Pokemon Lucario, as well as Percy and Riolu being thrown into the mix. The song originated from the band Skillet, where I have a long history with them. I only know them through fan-made Sonic music videos as well as other things, and I even became quite a fan of them, listening to their songs on several albums. I chose Stars as the music video because I felt it sounded beautiful and it fitted Lucario as he has aura powers and that he was my top favorite Pokemon. Despite the song being about God, as Skillet is a Christian metal band and that Lucario has some vague connection with religion, yet I threw in Thomas because why not? To this day, the video holds 1,400 views and I'm not quite disappointed about it, as my viewers are way more interested with things in my channel like Thomas, Bob the Builder, Fireman Sam and Tech Winner Chakdar. The second video uploaded to my channel was Thomas/Pokemon DP Galactic Battles parody clip, which I uploaded as a separate video before I made that compilation of Thomas/Pokemon parodies in February of 2019. The third was Ash vs Paul, Rise, another Skillet music video, only this time it's focused on Ash and Paul's rivalry and fights throughout the Diamond and Pearl era of the Pokemon anime. I wanted to make it as epic and edgy as possible, as with the lyrics. The fourth was Scrooge Harkinian vs Shovel Rabbit, where I put YouTube poop phrases heard in the late 2000s over a fight in Death Battle, where Scrooge McDuck and Shovel Knight pit against each other. Yeah, I was a fan of Death Battle, and I pretty much stopped going into it back in 2020 as I felt it was getting too intense for me to handle. Yet, I still watched a few of the recent-ish episodes time to time, but I still lost interest as it was just too much. Where funny enough, that video got a sequel titled Scrooge vs. Shovel 2, The Rise. Yeah, because who doesn't need a continuation of a fight that ended in bloodshed? In it, Ganon goes over to a graveyard to inspect whose soul has died and revives one of them, which turned out to be Shovel Knight, who lost his fight to Scrooge. Ganon and Shovel then decide to team up and take revenge on the old duck. Meanwhile, there's some YouTube poop shenanigans with Link and the King as I spliced up from whatever audio I've got. Until Gwonum informs everyone that Ganon has resurrected Shovel Knight from the dead and that they must stop them. Mario and Luigi are involved too and they join the team, and at Duckburg, Ganon and Shovel Knight do their plan as they burn down Scrooge's manor and try to kill him, but are stopped as Sonic comes in to save him. Okay. Then Ganon seemingly blows up the two through an explosion taken from The Simpsons, and the heroes confront the villains as they have an epic sprite battle, Super Mario Bros. Z style. Unfortunately, the evil and resurrected Shovel Knight has an advantage over the heroes as he takes out the Mario Brothers until SpongeBob steps in and defeats Shovel by impaling him through the chest with his fist. God knows how edgy I was 5 years ago. Ganon is then anticlimactically defeated as he seals himself in the book, to which Link calls it stupid and makes it explode via the same explosion footage from The Simpsons. Scrooge and Sonic wake up and the heroes explain what just happened, and they offer Scrooge to help rebuild his hometown Duckburg back to the way it was. And there are titles which say that everyone helped Scrooge with reverting the town back to normal, the old duck thanked them, and Shovel Knight was buried once again. Did our heroes not know that Scrooge McDuck of all people was the one responsible for killing Shovel Knight, and that I painted Shovel Knight as the villain who seeked out revenge for killing him in their fight, and yet if Scrooge told everyone that he killed him, they would be peeved off and call him out? And portraying him as the good guy did not help very much. Cause as much as I don't know else about Scrooge McDuck or DuckTales as a whole, I feel like I was taking the aftermath of their fight too seriously and I made it a joke. And that it might sound like an insult to Shovel Knight fans watching that video. Not just that, I've made yet another late 2000s themed YouTube poop video called YouTube Poop Attack on Happy Meal. And it even has more views than the previous two, just because it has YouTube Poop in the title. The video starts off with a commercial of Happy and its clones, who you know him as the current mascot of McDonald's. The beginning has the commercial of a Happy Meals with faces dancing with crazy movie maker effects and even throwing in some YouTube poop jokes, clips, and even dancing to Eiffel 65 with a color changing effect. After all that, the announcement plays saying that their mission is to destroy the king and take over Hyrule. Meanwhile, over at Hyrule, the king demands to his daughter Zelda that he wants Snickers, to which Zelda tells him that there aren't any. Gronum comes in and suggests Pepsi to him. And soon enough, Pepsi Man comes in and gives the king some Pepsi. Suddenly, the Happy Meals destroy the castle by shooting it with a toy gun that somehow works. Because screw logic. Pepsi Man says, well, screw this, I'm out of here, and just flees the scene. Okay. Then our heroes have an epic battle with the Happy Meals as they take part in an RPG battle. I feel like this is reminding me of something. And then of course they only had one attack that hurts Link, and Zelda of all characters just has her sword shoot out a beam that instantly takes out all of their health and kills them. Another anticlimax. And they just retreat. Wow. And if you don't know what this is reminding me of, I'm referring to the YouTube Poops Melee Mario 720 made back in the late 2000s. And the most notable poops he made was a series called The King Wants Cheeseburgers, where Ronald McDonald is depicted as the villain and the CDI Zelda characters fight him, and that there's some Spadina antics going on at that time. Yeah, I was trying to recapture that same vibe back in 2018 with those videos, and I don't think anyone has ever attempted to do them. And there's also the music video of Bob the Builder, which was for the 20th anniversary at the time. However, what I didn't know was that the date for the video, November 28th, which was said to be when the series was first shown, was actually wrong. As the Bob the Builder wiki debunked it, saying that in reality, the first episode aired on the 12th of April 1999. So that meant we Bob the Builder fans celebrated it early. Oops. And on the subject of that video, to this day, it is currently the most viewed on my channel, with a whopping 525,000. And looking back on it now, I'd say that it was one of my well-made and created videos on Movie Maker with my editing and splicing skills. And even a tribute to the original Bob the Builder franchise by showing the different eras. No thanks to you, Mattel. And it made me a bit nostalgic thinking about it, not just the series, but the music video I made. And that's all I've got to say and show you. Oh, wait, you wanna know the history of the name of a channel? Okay, I'll tell ya. So, all the way back in 2015, my 15-year-old self was thinking of a name of a potential YouTube channel and what content I could make. On Serif Draw Plus, I created an icon for what may be my future account. And here it is. I've uploaded it on my DeviantArt account back in 2020 when I started to export some of my work on Serif into DeviantArt. This one has my favorite characters at the time: Mario, Sonic, Thomas, Rainbow Dash, Pikachu, and Kirby. And the name underneath them was NinHitsFan15, a reference to that year and my age at the time. The name NinHitsFan was partially inspired by people on DeviantArt doing a portmanteau of Nintendo and Sega called NinSega, and I wanted to do something different on my own. The hit from NinHitsFan came from Hit Entertainment, the company responsible for owning several franchises such as Bob the Builder, Fireman Sam, Pingu, and you guessed it, Thomas the Tank Engine. Then when my channel was created, I put in my real name instead of something more creative, so my mum and sister suggested me to change it to avoid public acknowledgement or something. So I changed to the one I had in mind back in 2015, Nin Hits Fan 15. Then come months later in February of 2019, where I changed it to Nin Hits Fan 2000 to fit in line with my birth year, as the number had no purpose other than the year I came up with and the age I was. And there you go. That's the history of how my channel was made and conceptualized in the first place. I have come a long way with editing videos back in 2017, and my skills are improving ever since. My content has been growing strong, and I've gained a small amount of fans over the past 5 years. I don't know how it came to this, but I think it's because of a Bob the Builder music video I made to commemorate the franchise's supposed 20th anniversary. So, as a thank you to my fans, I don't have anything planned. I'm just telling you that's how long my channel has come this far, and I don't know how to celebrate it. I may be either creating a music video or a remade version of a Thomas parody, but I don't think I'm interested in doing any of those since I'm mostly retired. So, thank you for subscribing and liking my videos, as next month I'm gonna be talking about Sam Tan, aka the Welsh version of Fireman Sam, and the VHS where it includes the Christmas special. Until then, cheerio, and thank you for a great 5 years.
Being a pirate is a everything. Do what you want, cause a pirate is free. You are a pirate. You're har! Wind at your back, lads, wherever you go. Blue sky above and blue ocean below. You are a pirate. You are a pirate.